Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. A top UN official has warned there would be catastrophic consequences if Israel expands its military operations in Gaza after reports Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is pushing for total reoccupation. Assistant Secretary General Miroslav Yenka told the UN Security Council such a move would be deeply alarming and could endanger the lives of more Palestinians as well as Israeli hostages held by Hamas. Israeli media reported that Mr. Netanyahu plans to meet his security cabinet next week.
Mr. President, the latest reports regarding Prime Minister Netanyahu's possible decision to expand Israel's military operations through the entire Gaza Strip, if true, are deeply alarming. This would risk catastrophic consequences for millions of Palestinians and could further endanger the lives of the remaining hostages in Gaza.
The Kremlin says US envoy Steve Witkoff and Russia's Vladimir Putin have held constructive talks as Donald Trump's deadline for Moscow to agree a ceasefire in Ukraine looms. Foreign policy aide Yuri Ushakov said that during the 3-hour meeting, Mr. Putin transmitted signals to Witkoff on what he called the Ukrainian question and received corresponding signals from the US side. The US president has said Russia could face hefty sanctions or see secondary sanctions imposed against all those who trade with it if it doesn't take steps to end what he calls the horrible war with Ukraine. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has said he is taking legal action to remove from office dozens of Democrats who have fled the state to block a plan to redraw electoral boundaries. He filed a lawsuit with the Texas Supreme Court seeking to fire Democratic legislator Gene Wu, whom he calls the ringleader of a plot to hijack state government. The redrawn congressional map would create 5 more Republican-leaning seats in the U.S. House of Representatives in Washington, D.C., where Republicans hold a slim majority.
In Texas, we are going to ensure that voters are going to be able to vote for their candidate of choice. For example, I think Donald Trump won in all 5 of these seats that we will be making Republican seats. The gross gerrymandering in these blue states have rejected Republican candidates for office that should be serving those states, should be serving our country. It's the gerrymandering in the blue states that has distorted the politics in America.
The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services plans to cancel $500 million in funding for mRNA vaccines being developed to counter viruses that cause diseases such as the flu and COVID-19. That will impact 22 projects being led by major pharmaceutical companies for vaccines against bird flu and other viruses.
Hi, it's Robert F. Kennedy Jr. here, your HHS Secretary.
Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., a vaccine skeptic, announced he was pulling the funding over claims that mRNA technology poses more risks than benefits. Doctors and health experts have criticized Kennedy's long-standing question of the safety and efficacy of vaccines and his views on health policies. A silent prayer has been held in Japan as it marked 80 years since the United States dropped an atomic bomb on the city of Hiroshima. Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba attended the ceremony along with officials from around the world. World War II ended with Japan's surrender after the dropping of the bombs in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The bombs killed more than 200,000 people, some from the immediate blast and others from radiation sickness and burns. And the singer-songwriter Ed Sheeran has surprised fans by playing a number of original songs and Irish tunes during a music and arts festival in Wexford Town. Brought up in Suffolk, the Galway girl singer's dad hails from Belfast, and in June, Sheeran announced that he identifies culturally as Irish. Sheeran also made sure that fans who couldn't make it inside the pub didn't miss out, as he made his way outside to perform an acoustic rendition of his hit single, Perfect. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.